So was the EMI desk the last desk you had at Levy's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how long did you work at Levy's?
I think it was 5 years.
Tell us about the kind of Paultech style piece of equipment that you built while you were at Levy's.
Levy's didn't really have that much money to buy new equipment because I think the EMI desk and the 3-tech Ampex had taken all their spare cash. The EQ on the EMI desk was very basic. I think it was just top and bass. There may have been something in the middle. No, I don't think there was anything in the middle. And so I wanted some Paultechs. Yeah, I went to J.H. Levy and said, you know, we need some Paultechs. He said, well, we can afford one. So we bought one, which we all thought was fantastic. And I said, well, we need some more. He said, we can't afford them. So I said, oh, I shouldn't do this, but I'll take one apart and copy it. So I go into my workshop with the bought model of the Paultech and take it apart. And it had a straightforward amplifier in it, a fairly standard design, valve push-pull. But it was the inductors, the coils I was interested in. And they were in metal cases that big, filled with pitch. Obviously, they didn't want anyone to copy them. So what I had to do is I had to take, so I'd unsolder them, I'd take them home, put them in my mother's cooker, and just melt the pitch until I could pour it out. And then I had to go and buy the inductance meter to measure the inductance of the coils. And then, and this is really how I learnt to design transformers, because the Paultech inductors were obviously manufactured by Paultech, and I had no idea what the core material was. I just knew the inductance. So I had to experiment with various forms of both metal and ferrite cores, wind the coils. And it's quite interesting that although the calculation of the resonant frequency of a coil plus a capacitor are quite easy to work out, what's harder is the actual bandwidth. You say you've got a 3,000 cycle boost. The width of it is called the bandwidth. And that becomes very critical, I found later on in EQ design. So in the end, I built 3 of these, of which one I bought back from a bloke in America.
And has it been used recently?
Liam at Towrag had it for a couple of years, but then I wanted it back here.
So it has been used on sessions?
It's been used, yeah. Liam used it a lot on sessions.
And Levy's, of course, is important and significant because it's where you met John Wood.
Yes. That was a very fortunate event. John Wood had worked for Decca, and he wanted to be part of the Vienna crew, but there weren't any vacancies. I think he was an assistant cutting engineer on one of their Neumann lathes, and he was offered and accepted a job with Rank Records, except Rank Records went broke 3 weeks later. So he turned up at Levy's, and immediately we got on, to such an extent that when we discovered Morris had sold Levy's and Oriel to CBS, and I found out that CBS, whenever they bought a studio in Europe, kept all the staff apart from the chief engineer who they fired. I thought, I don't want to be fired. So John and I thought we'd start our own studio, which is what we did.